if you've been watching this channel for a while, you know that the typical setup is the black background with the incandescent bulb and the TV in the background. So in this video, I'm gonna be showing my YouTube setup. It's in my basement. And as a beginner YouTuber, I feel like having a setup where people can relate to your channel and people find a familiar setting for your channel is important. But as a beginner, like I said, it shouldn't break the bank as well. So in this video, I'm gonna be taking you guys on a tour in my basement where I have my setup. So let's get started. So this setup is in my basement, and as soon as we walk down here, we see the set right here, which is basically the simplest setup I have. I got 2 lights, a microphone, a tripod, and this random picnic table. So first things first, I would say the most important thing for a YouTube setup will be lighting, because you can have the best camera in the world, but with terrible lighting, your videos are still gonna look like shit. So for me, my main light is this light right here. That's the Godox VL150. I can't say enough things about this light. So aperture lights are pretty common in the YouTube scene right now, and they're pretty expensive lights relatively speaking, especially for a beginner YouTuber. So this Godox VL150 here is pretty much a comparison like the Aperture 120D. So if you're familiar with that light, then this light gives you similar results. Can't say enough good things about this light. It's pretty powerful for what I need it for. It's well built and has a Bowens mount, so it can be attached with a bunch of accessories on it. I have this newer softbox that's to diffuse the light so that the light isn't harsh on my face in my talking head shots. So it gives me that soft and flattering light. And with all these are going to be linked down in the description. So if you want to pick one up yourself, use one of the links down below. This Godox light is on just a regular newer light stand that I picked up on Amazon for like 50 bucks. I want to get a C stand, but for now, the light stand does the job pretty well. I normally set this up at about a 45-degree angle from my face. That way, half my face around this area is lit up, which gives you the most cinematic or moody type lighting. So now the second light that I use is this light right here, and this one I actually picked up from Amazon for like 100 bucks for like a pack of 2 lights. They're color temperature adjustable, so I can set them from 5600 Kelvin, which is the same color as the Godox light, or I can warm it up like this to 3200 Kelvin. I normally like having one at 5600, one at 32 Kelvin, because then it really flatters my face. This one I use more like a fill light. So with the other light, it's a 45-degree angle coming towards my face. And this one, I usually put it on the other side so that it fills the rest of my face, so it's not just one long shadow. And the last light I use is this little light with this Edison bulb. I usually just have that hanging around in the back of my backgrounds as more of a practical light. I feel like it just gives a little bit of warmth and a little bit of style to the videos. This one is like just a random light that I bought on Amazon for like 25 bucks. When we were designing this basement, we actually just got it for the basement, but I thought it looked cool, so I thought I might as well just use it in the videos as well. So this one kind of acts as like, almost like a rim light, where it adds a little bit of separation from my background, and it kind of looks cool in the videos. So like I said, if you want to make your videos look more professional, more aesthetically pleasing right away, the biggest and best thing you can invest in right now is lighting, because lighting really does go a long way to make your footage look better. Even if you have a good camera, even if you have the best lens, if you have terrible lighting, you're not going to get good results either way. So that's my lighting setup. So coming along to the table, it's a pretty basic beat up picnic table that I have, but the trick is that I have these 2 pieces of foam core that I bought. They're literally $1 at the dollar store, and what I do is I just place them on the table like this, and then in the camera it looks like I have a clean black table. Never gets dirty, because these things are literally so cheap. You can literally pick one up pretty much for every video. I've had these for the last like 5-6 videos now, and they're pretty much perfectly good quality. The biggest thing for a video is the audio. So if you don't have good audio, you're not gonna have a good video. Most people say audio is actually more important than the video itself. So I have 2 main sources of audio right now. One of them is the Rode Video Micro, which is on the camera right now. Now I am looking to upgrade to the Rode Video Mic Pro Plus, but for now, this mic with a dead cat on it for outside does the trick perfectly well. So if you need something that doesn't break the bank, definitely recommend this. I think it's like 60 bucks, and for 60 bucks you really can't go wrong. Now for the talking head shots, I use this guy right here. This is a shotgun microphone that I have on a boom arm on another light stand, and I try to place this as close to my mouth as possible when I'm sitting down here. but without being in the frame so you can't see it. The closer the microphone is to you, the better audio you'll get from it. This is the newer NW81 microphone, and it's pretty much the most budget shotgun microphone that I could find on Amazon. When I didn't really know much about audio and how to make videos sound good, I just picked this up because I thought any microphone would be good. It does the trick pretty well. I have it connected to this newer boom mic pole, which is actually clutch because it has an XLR cable connecting to the microphone itself, and the pole itself actually has another XLR cable at the back of it, which I run straight into the camera, so I don't have to worry about having an external recorder. Now eventually I do want to upgrade the audio setup to have an external recorder and a better microphone, but for now, especially as a beginner, this microphone does the trick just fine. And if you don't compare it to some of those nicer, more expensive microphones, you really don't know a difference and you can't really tell. So if you're just starting off, definitely recommend this microphone. Now, this is the tripod I use, and this is the Insignia NSTRP58. Honestly, I don't even know if they make these anymore. I bought this about, I want to say 8 years ago. I bought it for like 30 bucks. It's made out of super light aluminum, I believe it is, and really is the most basic tripod I could find at Best Buy when I was like in grade 10. But one thing interesting is at the top, I have the Arca Swiss plate mount on it. So my camera, I use some Peak Design products. I use the Peak Design clip for my backpack, and that comes with an Arca Swiss plate mount. So I bought these little adapters that I could put on my tripod. I have like a mini vlogging stick, and I have a gimbal. So all those have an Arca Swiss plate adapter, so I don't have to be fiddling around with different plates, unscrewing things, screwing them back on. I can just use one thing and it works with all my products. So if you're using a mount like that, definitely invest in some of these. I believe they're like $9, so you can get a bunch of them for all your accessories. So it's just gonna create a better workflow, a better ecosystem of adapters. So the good thing with this setup is that most of the stuff that I have is just from home. So when I'm doing my talking head shots, I literally just get a dining table chair from upstairs and I put it behind the table right here. Now from here, I can set up all the lights, I can set up the microphone, I can set up the camera on the tripod to dial in the exact look that I'm going for. And for my talking head shots, this is the lens I use. Super light, pretty much the cheapest Sony lens that there is for the full frame camera. This is the 50mm 1.8. Now, I also do have the 24-70 2.8 lens, but I feel like on the tripod, the 50mm gives me good framing for the talking head shot, as well as it's super light, so I don't have to worry about the tripod falling over or anything like that, because like I said, it's not the greatest tripod in the world. So this is the lens I use for that. Right now, I have the 24mm 1.4 G Master on that. That's kind of like my vlogging lens, where it's kind of wide enough and it's pretty light. And then most of the times this lens lives on my camera where I can punch into 70mm or have it wide at 24. This is kind of like my do-it-all lens. So as you can see right now, this is more like the talking heads that you guys are used to seeing. And what I do for these, like I said, everything's set up the same way that I just showed you guys. The lights are on, the light from the side is on as a fill, but I turn off all the room lights. That way it's not interfering with the white balance. So I set the camera white balance to 5600 Kelvin, which is the same temperature as my main light. That way it's all balanced and well. And one thing that I also do that I feel like just adds a little bit more character, a little bit more interest to the shot is that I turn the TV on behind me and I put on a random YouTube video of some scenery. That way it's more dynamic than just a plain background. I put it on mute and I pretty much just have that going. The only difference right now is I'm still using the 24 lens. Normally I'd use the 50mm lens, but this is basically how the talking setup looks when everything is here. I was talking about the table before. These are still like just those foam plates that you set up like that, and it's pretty easily concealable that this is just a regular picnic table. And usually I have my iPad just on the side here, so my notes are there that I can quickly glance at, and then I can get my notes from there and then talk back to the camera. Now, like I said, this is a beginner setup. Some of the stuff is not the most professional grade things, but I feel like that's the beauty of a setup like this, where when you're just getting started, it is good equipment that can get you started in YouTube and gets you learning about the equipment as well as delivering good results. I feel like it's a learning process for everything, and us new YouTubers, we're all learning together. That's gonna do it for me in this video. That's the setup tour. I actually plan on redoing my room and making that more conducive to filming too, so I'm gonna be doing a video on that too. So if you want to see a transformation from a regular bedroom to a YouTube studio tour, that's on the way as well, so stay tuned for that. My name is Aryan. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing and hitting the like button. It does help me out a lot. I appreciate each and every one of you for making this far in the video. I'm gonna catch you guys in the next one. See ya.